straight to the finish.
Oh my God!
Unbelievable!
Oh my God!
Whoa!
I had the chance to speak with Tyron Woodley last week in Nashville, and he said obviously he'd like a rematch for the belt. He'd like to fight you at some point, but he called out Conor McGregor. He said that's the fight that he thinks makes the most sense for him. What do you make of that?
It's embarrassing, man. Tyrone doing what he does best, embarrassing himself. You know, he's calling out a 55-pounder, a guy that's below him that has no aspirations to fight him. You know, the thing about Tyrone, he's not a draw. No one cares about him. The fans, you know, they don't want to see him fight. You know, he's boring inside the cage and outside the cage. So he's not going to get a big money fight with Conor. He's not a draw, you know. So he couldn't even sell 100,000 pay-per-views by himself. So why is Conor going to give him a spotlight to fame and money, you know? So Tyrone, man, just sit down, sit down, watch grown men work and watch how real men do it.
For what you remember, but what was the thought? Because there was a bit of a height disparity. I thought he was going to go a lot to the body, which I guess a little bit he did, but he went much more to the legs.
Yeah, you know, I figured I didn't expect him to stand right there in front of me, you know, right off the bat. I was going to go to him, get him backing up, but he actually met me in the middle, started coming at me, and he did throw a lot of leg kicks, but I remember thinking, you know, his strikes or punches were kind of slow in the first round. Like, man, oh, this is good. This is not going to take long at all. That's what you get for thinking. But yeah, I felt like his hands were fairly slow. He did throw a lot of leg kicks out there, but the game plan was, you know, to really pump the jab, you know, get him backing up a little bit, and then look for the knockout from there. He did keep his hands up fairly high, which made that fairly difficult. So I started going to the body as well with my own body kicks. So to try and get him to drop those hands just a little bit. You know, in the later rounds, I figured that those body shots would definitely wear his body out, him dropping his hands, and then the knockout would be a little bit easier. But we never made it to that point. So, you know, I felt good about my performance, and I went back and watched the fight several times, especially the knockout. And I'm like, you know, it seemed to me like I know I've been hit harder than that. I know Tyron's hit me harder than that. You know, why did this punch affect me the way it did? And the only thing I could think of was it just being right on the money, right on the spot. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Is no longer the champion. He has relinquished the title. Adverse analytical finding. New York State has suspended him for a year. He's been fined $10,000. You've had, what, 5 days now to digest this? How do you feel about this whole situation?
God, to be quite honest with you, Ariel, it's I've really never thought of something like this happening to me. It's the emotional aspect. It's almost like, dude, we shook hands, man. Like I'm a competitor, man. I've been competing my whole life, and you know, like this is the first time this has ever happened to me. You know, it's just like I don't have any malice in me. You know, I'm out there to compete. I'm out there to give it my best. And at the end of the day, you know what? Let the best man win. And I think with this whole TJ situation, man, it's almost like it made me sad, man. It made me sad, the fact that and if it's all true, because I probably shouldn't even speculate either. But it's almost, you go through these roller coasters of like, you feel sad, and then you go from being sad to being mad. You're like, wait, what if you would have beat me up, like, you know, like Brock did with Mark Hunt,
right? You
know, and like sometimes these things kind of cross through your head, because you just never know. But this ain't baseball, man. And if it all comes out to be true, like I would never want to. I would never feel comfortable fighting somebody like that again. You know, I hope it was an accident. I hope it wasn't. I hope something happened. But if it's true, man, I truly feel bad for the man. I really do.
Does it bother you?
And on top of that,
yep.
I would never fight him again. I don't care for what amount of money. I would never fight him again.
Does it bother you, Henry, that as of Monday afternoon, we're speaking about this, we still don't know what it is? We don't know if it's a diuretic, a steroid. We don't know if it's a tainted supplement. We don't know anything about this. It seems a little funny, right?
But that's what I'm saying. That's why, you know, they relinquished the belt. Like he let the belt go, and like nobody does that. Nobody does it. So I just let you know how possibly severe the case could be.
Right.
You know, and it's just that now like the early stoppage, like everybody was talking about, they're almost like, damn, Henry did it, and he was on something. You know, it brings a little more light to my victory, I guess. I mean, that's something that I could think of. But other than that, man, I hope TJ. I hope it's not true, Ariel. Like I really do, man. Like I want to give the dude the benefit of the doubt, because I believe he's a good guy. I believe I want to say there's no malice like that, but I'm curious to know, man.
What did you make of Conor's tweet afterwards?
I honestly, man, I don't follow all that stuff. You know, they told me about it on ESPN, and I think he tweeted after the Masvidal fight too. You know, people posted. But I don't know what his plan is. But you know, it's for me. If he wants to fight, let's do it. Like I'm not gonna go out there and say, "Oh, I want McGregor so bad." You know, I heard he said, you know, my name in the tweet. Let's do it, man. I don't. You sign me up, send me the contract. I'm ready to go.
You're not going to beg for it, essentially, right?
At all. Yeah, I don't need to, man. I have so many good fights in front of me, and great competition that's actually been putting in the work. That's climbed up the ladders, climbed up the ranks, and I can get essentially anybody I want.